from the CEO of our bank. Our bank. Okay, as a regulator, I'm constrained to. Then we also want to recognize. We also want to recognize Miss Mona Sebuliba, the CEO Abbey Finance. So one, thank you for coming. All right, so to proceed with our program, it will be very important to collect views from the people attending this high-level event today regarding the theme of the day, but also their perspectives on the issue of the day, which is access to usage, advancing inclusive financial product uptake in Uganda. So I will request Paul to get me a handheld microphone so that we have that, but also in the meantime we have microphones on the tables, so I will be randomly selecting people to give us their views about the theme of the day, and then we get to appreciate if we are moving together. And also I will request the people who are still outside to kindly get in, because we have actually started. Thank you. So I will move to the table which is nearest to me and seek their views on the theme of the day. Yes, so want to pick the views of the participants on this table regarding financial inclusion. What do you love most about financial inclusion? And if you were given a chance to be the person in charge of financial inclusion in Uganda, what is one thing that you would change? I will start with the ladies first. The microphone there. Your name and details.
Thank you very much. My name is Doreen Navka from High People. I think I would build infrastructure. Thank you.
You are quite precise and concise. Okay, your neighbor, share your perspective on financial inclusion and what you're most passionate about when it comes to financial inclusion.
Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Innocent Kaoya from High People. One thing I'm very passionate about in this day and very many years to come about financial inclusion is leveraging interoperability as a rail to ensure we advance affordable financial inclusion for everyone.
Thank you very much for sharing your perspectives. Thank you very much for sharing your perspectives regarding the theme of the day. At this moment, please let us stand up and recognize the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development of the Republic of Uganda, the Honorable Matia Kasaija. Colleagues, money has come. And we want to recognize the Deputy Governor, the Bank of Uganda, Professor Augustus Nwagaba. You may get seated. Honorable Minister, today is a special day. It's the day when we get to reflect on financial inclusion. It's the day when we recognize the key players who have worked with us this financial inclusion journey. The financial landscape is changing. Today we talk about things like inclusive finance. We are talking about things like universal financial access. We are talking about things like broad-based financial access and usage. We are talking about inclusive banking. We are talking about economic inclusion, banking inclusion, financial empowerment, trust from financial consumers, digital financial inclusion. We are talking about financial integration. We are talking about affordable financial services. So today, these participants have gathered here so that we can reflect on this very important theme of the day, which is access to usage, advancing inclusive financial product uptake in Uganda, a very relevant theme that we all need to reflect on today. Honorable Minister and Deputy Governor, please allow me to recognize some of the people who have arrived and they are with us here today. We want to recognize the different players in this journey of financial inclusion and each of the roles that they have played for us to reach thus far. But Honorable Minister and Deputy Governor, since this is a high-level event and it's a national event, it would be important for us to first honor the country by singing the anthems. So I'm going to request the DJ to do the needful as we all stand up and we sing the anthems. Anthems guided by the DJ. We may need to sing verbatim because the person in charge of the public address system is a bit slow. Matters of technology. All right. So we'll sing verbatim, starting with.
Oh, Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we always stand.
Utaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you very much. We remain standing for the word of prayer. I'm going to randomly select Mr. Richard Kirungi Ndianabo from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to come and lead us in a word of prayer. Mr. Richard Kirungi Ndianabo works with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and is been part of the organizing team. So Richard, you could come forward and lead us in a word of prayer so that we start this high-level engagement with blessings from God. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you, MC. Let's humble ourselves for a prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for the gift of life. We also thank you for the trust you've given us to lead this country. We pray that as we engage in this National Financial Inclusion Forum, you come amidst us to give us glory and work for the people of Uganda so that they are financially included. We thank this and pray in the name of your Lord. Thank you.
You may get seated. Thank you so much, Mr. Richard Kirungi Ndianabo, for leading us in that word of prayer. God bless you. So back to the program, Honorable Minister. Our program of the day is supposed to start with remarks from the Governor, Bank of Uganda, and the Governor today is represented by the Deputy Governor, who is Professor Augustus Nwagaba. And after that, Honorable Minister, to give us your remarks today regarding the theme of the day. There is a video documenting the journey of financial inclusion in Uganda, what has been achieved to date, and what more needs to be done going forward. That video will play for you, Honorable Minister. And also there is a video on parish development model for us to appreciate the role that the government of Uganda has played in ensuring that there is not only access but also usage of financial services in the country. So we'll play that documentary, and then we'll request Honorable Minister that at that juncture, before you go, you'll perform for us two things. One will be awarding of certificates, but also two,
You're watching Rest TV, Wumula. Don't miss this edition of Destiny Matters on Sunday, 9 p.m.
Nasokera mu kyalonzi ampeereza semuto bwe ntuuka Holy Temple nalina t-shirt oba bbiri n'akasawo oba n'akakeeka
yagenda n'agwa mu kyaki ne yeebakawo nga talina na kye yeebisera ekimu bulangiti
yange y'ebbeeyi eyasooka ye yagimpa Mathias yalina obunafu era obw'abavubuka abakula
ondi yogera obunafu bwe nalina saaga kunvuluga
nza mu Luganda bayita bannaamwatulira
ekkanisa mwana n'ogireka gwe ate n'ogenda
ye yagenda
Mukama mba ndi mu kusaba nanga Betty ye mukyalawo nenga Mukama yanjereganga
bulungi wagamba Mukama sisobola muwala oyo waddalu
Mukama kye yakola Betty n'ankwata ku bwongo kati Mukama n'aŋŋamba genda omugambe bye naggambye
ngamba munnange Mukama yayogeddeko nange ku by'ensonga ez'okuwasa togeza n'onfumbirwa nga Mukama takugambye
nkwana bubi
wakwana bubi naawe
omwana muwala ono munna Kenya yali yamukwana
Omunakenya ki?
Ako kantu kakyakuluma.
Tekanuma.
Kati omukkiriza otyo eventually.
Lwe namukkiriza lwe yampeerawo amateeka. Ffe musumba twafumbiriganwa nga ffenna tuli mbeerera.
Oba ono yali omukugu obanzi nga ffenna tuli green. Era se omuhanemoon n'etteke zaaliyo.
Ne Mukama yabaagala nnyo mmwe.
Naye musumba tuyise mu faya. Musumba nze namala ebbanga nga sizaala. Mama wange bwe yafa nalinga avuddeko waya. Naliko essaala embi. Abalokole bansiibira ennaku 7 nfe.
Balokole baawo.
Baleke pastor. Omwami wange musajja mulungi. Nze mbeera n'omwami wange yalongoosa engatto zange, ansiisiriza ebizigo, ansanirira enviiri.
Alright then, tune in to Destiny Matters this Sunday 9 p.m. on Rest TV.
Amanya n'eddoboozi ni Pastor Isaac Kyobe ekiweweesa okuva mu Kansanga Miracle Center Church. Njagala okutwala omukisa guno okubaaniriza abantu bamwe nabo mu kibuga Kampala bakolera mu Kampala. Twaweebwa omukisa ogw'okukeera buli makya ositandike ne Katonda ekibuga tekisobola kulema. So tulina okuviira ddala ku ssaawa 12 okutuukira ddala ssaawa 2:15 Monday to Friday ku Kampala Road ku House of Rest edde yayitibwanga Fidodido. Tosubwa olwo ate ne tukomawo ku ssaawa 6 okutuukira ddala ku ssaawa 8:30 Monday to Friday ku Kampala Road. So njagala kutwala mukisa guno kuyamba na kujjukiza engeri yokka gy'osobola okukikola mu kibuga Kampala, kubanga ebyandikwa ebitukuvu bigamba nti si lwa maanyi, si lwa buyinza, naye olw'omwoyo wa Katonda. Jangu tutandike ne Mukama ku ssaawa z'amalya g'ekyemisana. Jangu tubeere naawe, jangu tulabe obulungi bwa Mukama mu nsi eno ey'abalamu. Tosobola kulemererwa. Abantu mbalabye nga Mukama abayamba, nga Mukama abanyweza, nga Mukama abawa amaanyi, nga Mukama abawa okuwangula. Bayibuli yogera mu Yeremiya essula ya 33 olunyiriri lwa 3 timpita nange ndikuyitaba nenkulaga ebikulu ebinene by'otomanyi. So jangu tubeere ffenna, jangu tukuŋŋaane ffenna, jangu oweebwa omukisa, jangu onoolaba obulungi bwa Mukama mu nsi eno ey'abalamu. Sigadde ndi Pastor Kiweweesi Isaac Kyobe. Jangu tubeere ffenna, tosubwa amakya, tosubwa misana. Come on.
Enkwata y'amagoba esalawo kinene ku nkulaakulana ya bizinensi yo, era esalawo kinene ku kuziŋŋama kwayo, sinakindi n'okugwa kwayo. Kyabulabe amagoba gonna g'ofunye okugalya, era kyabulabe amagoba gonna g'ofunye okugazza mu bizinensi, era kyabulabe amagoba okugatereka ng'ogalinze ebigwa tebiraze. Buli lw'ofuna amagoba gyako ebitundu 2 ku buli 100 obizze mu bizinensi. Ojjeko ebitundu 10 obiteeke wabbali, ebyo bikuyambeko okukola ku bigwa tebiraze. Ebitundu ebirala 10 osobola okubikozesa nga bw'olabye. Ebitundu 60 bikwate obinvestinge, biteeke mu bintu ebirina obusobozi okuzaala amagoba. Emirimu gyo bwe ginafuwa oba bizinensi yo bw'ebanga eddiridde nga yeetaaga okwongeramu ssente, mu kifo ky'okwewola otunda ku ebyo bye wainvestingamu ssente, okubbulula bizinensi yo n'okugiyamba. Enkwata y'amagoba esalawo kinene ku nkulaakulana ya bizinensi yo, ku kuziŋŋama kwayo, sinakindi n'okugwa kwayo.
In Uganda, our community Communities thrive on collaboration and innovation, but to build a sustainable future, we need to deepen our financial solutions. This November, join us for the annual Cooperative and SACCO Convention. Alicom Investments Limited, with the support of the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, is bringing together the best minds in the sector. This is your chance to build strategic linkages, develop management capacity, and learn how to align with Uganda's broader development goals. Whether you are a SACCO, a government agency, or a private sector partner, this is the forum for you. Come and showcase your impact, learn best practices, and influence policies that will shape the future of financial inclusion. With over 500 SACCOs and 100 community saving groups in attendance, the connections you will make here will be invaluable. Be a part of the movement building economically resilient and sustainable communities. Book your stall today and secure your place at Uganda's most important cooperative event.
Brought to you by Rest TV.
Amannya omusumba Roland mwesigwa lwasa nzize mbaniriza olukungaana lwayita antic experience abamululezeeko lwabasumba baweereza abayitiddwa Katonda twebagula lundi guno olusembayo lutukoze omwaka olusembayo omwaka tugenda kubeera Kansanga Miracle Center Pastor Kiwewesi atuhostinze. Njagala okwaniriza okuŋŋaana olukoze impact mbasumba abantu badde basumba b'Ekawempe, tubadde basumba b'Ekatu, tubadde basumba b'Emulawa. So kati olusembayo ffenna tugenda kuŋŋaanira Kansanga 8 Novemba ssaawa 3 ez'okumakya paka akawungeezi. Tosoba nzize kuyita. Olukuŋŋaana lwaffe lwabaweereza kwewagala, kwesiikuula, tutuuke ku ekyo Mukama kyatuyitidde. Pawulo agamba nfuba okulaba nga nkwata kuyitibwa okwawaggulu gyekuli kuyitibwa okwawaggulu, so nkwaniriza jangu tubeere ffenna tusibe ffenna Kansanga. Mutume Bungi agenda kuba naffe, Mutume Kimuli ne Pastor Isaac nange tugenda kulaba ekitiibwa kya Katonda. So teekateeka olunaku olwo tugenda kuba lwa 8 Novemba. Tosubwa, nkwaniriza. God bless.
To raise the bar for financial inclusion. I gave the keynote address on 22nd of September at the White Hall, and guess what we really discussed? Financial inclusion in that UK-Africa summit. And that summit eventually led to 23rd of the same September. We were invited at the British House of Commons by Rami Ranger, those who know London politics. And Rami Ranger is a member of the Induja group. He arranged a lunch at the British House of Commons, and yours truly was recognized in the World Book of Records. They gave me a certificate in the World Book of Records. I have it, certificate of excellence for the 30 years work I have been involved in speaking for the poor and for financial inclusion. The citation of that certificate of excellence is financial inclusion work I have done both in Makerere, in my teaching of my students for 26 years, and also in the work I've been doing as an international consultant, as you have heard. So I'm with you. I'm your ambassador, except you have not recognized me at all. You have never recognized me. Can you imagine an ambassador, the honorable minister who appoints himself and you never recognize me? I am your 150% ambassador. I speak for you. I've been speaking for financial inclusion. I've been speaking for the poor. As you all know, globally, I cannot finish 2 sentences without talking about the poor and the people who are not in the monetary economy. And this is why, this is my mission, my minister. If you want to define me, I want to be clearly defined that I speak for the poor and those people who are not in this monetary economy. And that's why I also was very, very glad to come. So I'm very happy to be here, therefore. The Right Honorable Minister, Prime Minister, who is supposed to be here, and our Minister of Finance, my brother Mattia, senior colleagues in this subsector, financial subsector, and chief executives from regulatory agencies, esteemed development partners, leaders from financial institutions, my colleagues from academia and civil society, distinguished guests whom I'm seeing here, and very, very smart. And ladies and gentlemen, good morning, everyone. It is with great honor, of course, to be here, and we appreciate that. I welcome all of you for this 2025 Financial Inclusion Forum. It's a very wonderful forum, and today's event offers us opportunity to reflect about our financial inclusion journey, which has been very long. I've been with you for all these years, largely powerfully in the academic sector, but also with international agencies, with the World Bank, with multilaterals, bilaterals. We have been contributing significantly to that subsector, and it is therefore a call for action to deepen our commitment to building a financial system that leaves no Uganda behind. That's what we mean by financial inclusion. We do not want growth, Honorable Minister, which is exclusive. We want inclusive growth. So a financial system is the one that plays a big role in therefore bringing everybody in this fold. As I look across this distinguished assembly here, I see more than titles. The number of people have been recognized, but I see more than titles and institutions, banks, leading institutions in the financial sector. But this is not what is here only. The people who are here are change makers. It's a potential or real, and who can carry power to transform this financial system that we are having. There's no country. I've done research in, we have 196 countries. I've done research in 126 of them. And what I was doing, I was regressing. I was calculating the factors. I wanted to know the exact factor that transforms an economy from being a rogue economy to one of the leading economies. And my major first culprit was Singapore. And to cut the story short, there is no country in the world, get it from me today, which has ever transformed its economy without pooling resources, but particularly without, my minister, without having indigenous capital, without having the fabric, indigenous fabric that pulls the capital. Let's kindly put up your hand if you know it. You are not there. So every country, 196 of them, including Vatican and Monaco, where in my sample as well, all of them have pooled indigenous capital. And one can argue that South Korea is not in that category. South Korea pooled resources, but they had also one of the largest planning authority in the world. Under General Park Chung, he had Mr. O, who was a minister, he's a minister I'm a general as Minister of Defense. And Mr. O was able to marshal also support, and even if they got American support, but he was able to be marshaled together indigenously and pull South Korea the way you are seeing it with all funds you are holding, which are from General Park. So, therefore, it is very, very important to look inside and know that it is only from inside. The power is from inside that can therefore drive these forces. Those who are economists, this is what we call the neoclassical theory of development. Development is initiated from within. It can never, let me repeat it, development can never be initiated from outside. Propulsion can be from outside, but ignition is always from within. Therefore, it's an honor for me to share these thoughts for us. And over the past, therefore, years, Uganda has had tremendous progress on its financial inclusion journey. The most recent data from the World Bank, especially the Findex report, indicate that 73%, my minister, of adults have an account with the financial institution. This is a very, very great leap forward. 73% of Ugandans have some form of an account, either in a commercial bank or in these fintechs. And this is tremendous improvement from when I did the last Finiscope in 2013. I presented at the Bank of Uganda. I think the number was 23%, I remember that time. The first Finiscope study we did here, I was the lead consultant in that study. And I presented the governor of the bank at that time and the team, 23%, now 73%. We have added it to 50%. This is very, very good growth. We have seen the transformation, therefore, power of mobile money, circles. We have now licensed 3 large circles, my minister as well, including Ebo, those who come from Mukashari and Mbarara, and 2 others. There is one major one which is still refusing, which we all know, but it will come. We have seen tremendous power of mobile, therefore money, circles, agency banking, Islamic banking, all these are financially intermediating this process, and we want to support them. PDM, which is a very, very large government program, is doing nothing other than also contributing to this process, ensuring that what are we doing in PDM? PDM is focusing on one major factor, making as many people as possible to come within the money economy, not leaving them in the subsistence sector. So these milestones have therefore opened doors for millions of Ugandans to be in this sector, that now we know that progress must be measured not only by access, but also by usage. What we want to tell you is that when we said 73% of the people accessing either mobile money or have an account with any kind of fintech, the issue is not access, but how are we using it, the quality of utilization of those platforms. Now, in terms of inclusive finance as a catalyst for shared prosperity, Honorable Minister, financial inclusion is more than opening an account. It should enable people to participate fully in economic activity, and in a country where women, youth, persons with disability, refugees, and rural communities continue to face barriers, we need to do something here. I have been working before the president brought me to this central bank. Minister, I was working in fragile stage. Up to now, my office in Somalia, I haven't closed it. I've been working in Somalia, Central African Republic, Guinea-Bissau, South Sudan. By the time the president appointed me, I was going to Libya. So the African Development Bank had requested me to help these African countries, to the ones which are not really proper monetized economies, to help them. And you need to see one country which is very interesting, and this is Somalia. In Somalia, if I can, because I'm still working with them, helping them, in Somalia we don't have money, this money you have in the pocket. No one has anything called money. Somalia, 150%, my minister, is digital money. It's digital money, for different reasons, of course. There are 2 countries in the world whose currency is digital. The Somalia and the Netherlands, of course, for different reasons, both of them. Those who have been moving and bothered with international political economy. Even the beggars in Somalia, on Johara, for example, those who know Somalia very well. And our UPDF, I want to congratulate our Uganda People's Defense Forces, are the ones who, they keep us very well. We have a very good name. Once you say you are Ugandan, you are just like a king there, because they know what UPDF has done. So we move freely, but even the beggars beg with the phone. And even if she doesn't, or he doesn't have a phone, he has a phone number in the palm here, and people give. This is the level of digitization that these people, and the level of inclusion we are talking about. So this forum, therefore, should have access, usage, and advancing inclusivity in the sector. To do that, we need to address ourselves with the following questions. I have questions here. And number 1 is, how do we ensure, Honorable Minister, that financial products are designed with realities of ordinary Ugandans? And my brother Shash is here from Baroda. Because your products in commercial banks, you know, when we talk about access to services, how do you make a commercial bank product access to a service? Is it because you have brought a commercial bank near? No. The nearness of a commercial bank does not make me use your services in a commercial bank. Those who are from here in Uganda, by your son, your home being near King's College Budo, does it mean that your son will be in King's College Budo? Or your daughter will be in Gayaza because your house borders with the fence in Budo? Your girl or daughter must have the marks that they get to King's College Budo or Gayaza High School. So by being near these banks, unless you have a product which is usable, which I can use, look on demand side as well. Most of these commercial banks, you have been looking on the supply, just come on the supply side. But we need also to look at the demand side. Can I use your product? Is your product usable? This is what we are saying. And on this note, Honorable Minister, for example, on the digitization, while we are moving very, very slow on digitization, it is still very extremely costly to make a digital transaction here, a commercial digital transaction. You may find somebody driving to pay 50,000, somebody in Tinda from here, somebody would prefer to drive and pay somebody 50,000 rather than sending the money on the move, because now cashing it out is extremely expensive. So how can we make it, this question is how can we make it more affordable to digitize? And then we can say the economy is moving and everybody is using these platforms. How do we build trust? This is also very important. Because trust, business, let me tell you, you good people, there is no way you can do business without trust. And therefore the Ugandans who are here and you want to every time circumvent things. I know Ugandans you don't like formalism. And you cannot go anywhere without formalizing things. The ladies who are here, if you want to protect your marriage, I'm also a marriage counselor, they didn't add it on my CV. Let me address myself to these young ladies here. I'm a marriage counselor, a qualified one, not one whom they have picked on the road. I've been trained by Stanley and the Chobis and Nora, the Chobis, those who know the Chobis. I have that certificate with my wife. So we are, these ladies, let me address yourself. Formalize your marriage. If you don't, I don't want to see you crying after things that have, make sure you formalize. You don't want to formalize things. You want to take things easy. Easy come, easy go. So if you want to do business, ladies and gentlemen, you must learn to formalize things. We talked about IFRIS. You oppose it. We say formalize your business. You don't want to formalize business. But how can you now supply government? How do you supply serious institutions? How do you supply World Bank? How do you supply Bank of Uganda? How do you supply serious organizations without being on FMEs? You are not using IFRIS. You don't want anything called posting an invoice. That for you just want things to move in awkward ways. You cannot go far. You can't go far without formalizing. So I'm therefore finishing, my minister. These are the questions that need to be answered. And our reflection, I want us to make a reflection on 4 things. One, to remind us where we have come from. This one I've explained very well on the journey. Second, to challenge to design products which are usable. This one I've ably explained. And to look at the future. I was at the Central Bank of Kenya recently, and we are talking about now green financing taxonomy. The Bank of Uganda has already developed guidelines. We want, when you give loans, especially commercial banks who are here, both tiers, 1, 2, and other fintechs, we want you to incorporate, to design in those products, green financing taxonomy, my minister, so that these loans are contributing to ESG and you are sustainably certified. We want sustainability certification, and we want a country which can move with the others. We don't want to move alone. You can't go far. I'm sure there are Liverpool people here. For us, we are money. You Arsenal people want to kill us on the road these days. So third, we look at the future with green finance, and then the last we address the cornerstone of financial inclusion and consumer protection, protecting our consumers. That's when you can survive. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reality therefore remains that 37% of Ugandan adults are excluded. Still, Minister, 37%. Even when we have PDM, we have all these fintechs, we have all these good big banks, 22 of them in tier 1, and the others, we have very large circles, still 37%. Can you imagine? Are still outside the money economy. This is not good for economy. This is not good for fiscal metrics as well. For your side, Honorable Minister, where will you get money to finance now government programs? So we need as many people as possible to come within this bracket. And we believe that the stronger we build these partnerships between these sector players we have, the regulators, development partners, and the community ourselves, and educating them on awareness of these products, the better we can move. We believe that the fifth phase of government national backbone infrastructure and e-government will aim at enhancing this process, and we now have extension of internet connectivity has gone to West Nile, Eastern Uganda, to West, even areas of Bundibuja and other regions will support all these innovations. This is what we are working on. Somebody said, I needed to give you a word in the Bible. We should have had a devotion before we start this meeting. In Matthew chapter 25, 14, 30, you are all familiar with the parable of the talent. The talent, there were 3 people. One was given 5 talents, 2 talents, and 1. Remember, the one who was given 1 feared to use. People fear to use some of these products. And those who may be thinking that this talent was 1 shilling, 2 shilling, 5 shilling, you are please, you are mistaken. In the current value, because each talent, my minister, was equal to, I was looking at the New York Stock Exchange yesterday. The New York Stock Exchange yesterday finished with $33 per ounce of gold. So at that rate, each talent, was equal to 10,000 denaries. A denari in the Bible meant, in the current currency, meant the money we pay a mason when a mason is working on your house, the one who puts on a brick. The money he paid, I think those are we paying about 40,000. So 40,000 times 10,000 was equal to 1 denarii, and the talent was equal to 10,000 of those. So in the current currency, if you calculate the gold of yesterday, a talent was equal to $1.4 million. So that one got 1.4, the two got 2.8, the other one got $7 million. And of course, the one who got $1.4 million never used it. These products will not be used unless there is a commitment to use them, and there is a passion to use them, and also creation of awareness. And this is what we are told. And therefore, the onus is on us to make sure that you use them. And the gospel, many gospels in the Bible, sorry for boring you a lot with the Bible, those who may not be familiar with the Bible, but the Bible has 31,102 verses. There are in 66 books, and I've read all of them 4 times, including my mother. My mother told for us we are in Kigezi, it's the land of East African revival movement. We are children of the revival movement. So the Bible has 31,102 verses. My minister, out of those verses in the Bible, they are in 66 books. $2,512. You check. You have phones, they also learn how to use these phones properly. So that they are very, very effective. 2,512 verses are on money. They are talking about money. If you add verses that are talking about gold, silver, possessions, somebody stealing money, gold, Solomon who had I don't know how much gold, and so on. And most gold was stolen even from Africa here in Timbuktu, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Nigeria, and so on. It comes to 7,542. The other ones were 2,512. So the whole, you get 2,542 divided by 31,102. A quarter, 25% of the Bible, of 66 books, is on money, talking about money. So therefore, my honorable minister, we should not accept gospels in the country here. This is a Christian country, which is going to tell people not to work, telling people not to be in economic activity. The Bible itself, a quote of it, is saying if you don't work, you should not eat. And therefore, please tell people to be in the financial sector, people to participate in economic activity. This is what I wanted to end with. The national climate strategy is very clear on this. It will support that process. And therefore, building trust, we have already said that. And once everybody has that, the regulators will do their work. Especially with the MDS, we have Capital Markets Authority here, we have UMRA, we have everyone. But the financial institutions, fintechs, civil society, and consumer association must work together to protect and empower Uganda, especially to protect our consumers. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Uganda financial inclusion journey, therefore, has always been a very good journey. And in the words of Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, the UN Secretary General, Ambassador for UN Secretary General on financial inclusion, you have two ambassadors now, the Queen of the Netherlands and yours truly. And for me, I've been speaking for you even without paying me anything. Maybe you can pay. I just declared myself, like I'm a teacher, I declared myself as a teacher of many schools here in Uganda. But for me, I just declare myself as a teacher. I said before these children come to Makerere, I want to come and talk to them. You think if you say before these children in King's College Budo, in Gayaza, sorry, I have children there, that's why I'm bothering those schools. If you say Robina, the teacher Gayaza, I would like to talk to these girls before they come to Makerere and to educate them on these things. Because these financial markets, financial inclusion, bonds, bills, treasury bills, 5-year bond, 10-year bond, 15-year bond, 20, you go to ask these people don't know anything you are talking about. So if you say, declare, I want everybody here, declare yourself as a teacher. There is no headmaster who will refuse you. Me, I go there, declare myself in the book, I start teaching immediately. And the people become very happy. Many people get A in economics and so on. You could tell them something the teacher didn't tell them. So don't remain, what has Professor Nwagaba said here, Honorable Minister, don't remain in your, I don't know, your offices, you are very high. In Makerere, we call it Ivory Tower. Ivory Tower offices, and then think that people will come to you. Make outreaches to them. Explain what these products are. Declare yourself as a teacher by yourself. You don't need appointment. And you'll see how we can financially include these people and Uganda can move forward. So the Queen of Netherlands is saying that financial inclusion, Queen, the Mother Maxima of Netherlands, she's the Queen in Netherlands, and she's the Secretary General Ambassador, Special Advocate for Financial Inclusion. She's saying, just listen, financial inclusion is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. A means to empower people and improve their lives. It is a tool for improving livelihoods. In Professor Nwagaba's words, it is a tool for poverty reduction. And once you do that work, you are doing my work really for poverty reduction. This forum is therefore an opportunity to shape the kind of economy we want, which is the Ugandan economy that is resilient, that is inclusive, that is sustainable, and where every woman, man, and youth can thrive. We have a 10-fold strategy, I'm sure, which my minister don't want to preempt his work, but I'm sure he's going to tell you about the 10-fold strategy where we are going to multiply our GDP by 10 times, from 50 billion to 500 billion. Who is going to do that? It is you. How shall we achieve that? It is by bringing everybody in the financial system. And therefore, as I conclude, I urge to all of you to live here, not only with ideas which we have given you and encouragement, but with reviewed conviction. Let's not live with these words which we are tired of speaking. We are really tired of speaking. With conviction, with clarity, with one mind, and with an economic necessity of more imperative, together we can design these solutions. And ladies and gentlemen, I now want to thank everyone who invited us, especially for us from Bank of Uganda. My governor, Michael, he wants very much to be called Michael. But he's Dr. Michael Atingego, but he's very happy when you just call him Michael. So our governor, Michael, is in Washington. He has been attending very many meetings in Washington. He has been on leave. So he requested me to represent the bank. So we are here. So Bank of Uganda, we are very happy. We are supporting you. We are going to support this process. We are willing to support this process to ensure that as many Ugandans as possible, we bring them in the financial system. Our mission in the Bank of Uganda, I don't want to live here without telling you what we do. What we do on our desks, all of us, once we enter 7 o'clock, is to ensure price stability, stable prices of goods and services, and then to have sound financial system. And those two must contribute to socio-economic transformation. That's why the Bank of Uganda is there. That's our mission. Let me repeat it for stable goods and services, prices of goods and services, sound financial system. If those two things are not there, then you know, measure us. You know that we are not doing our work. But you clap for us and then tell you. Just clap for us and then tell you. And I want to thank you very much to be people of faith, to clap for something you don't know. The Bank of Uganda has been rated by Bloomberg among 29 serious African countries, Uganda shilling as the best performing currency. Inflation, number 2 in controlling inflation. We have kept inflation completely subdued. Our target is 5, medium term target, it is 3.4 now. Completely subdued. Who has made it possible to achieve that? It's really the financial sector. The way you have intermediated all these processes to ensure that money is available, the velocity of money is increasing, changing hands and so on. Nobody's money is stolen. People who have to make national payments are done well and so on. So we have ensured that we achieve our mission. And we are all happy, everybody is happy, the social media is happy. Imagine to be happy within the social media. It's not easy. But the social media is happy with us. I'm very, very happy also as the leader in this process. So we are doing well. Help us to do and continue doing well. So I thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
I told you Professor Augustus Nwagaba is a man of many hats. Marriage counselor, Rotarian. I needed to start with marriage counselor before I forget it. Rotarian, international consultant, gallant intellectual, global economist, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, let us once again join our hands to clap for Professor Augustus Nwagaba for ably representing the Governor, Bank of Uganda. Honorable Minister, the National Payment Systems, which plays a big role as the Secretariat for Financial Inclusion in Uganda at the Bank of Uganda, is headed by Mr. Andrew Kawere, who is the Director, National Payment Systems Department, seated just very close to you. And he's also supported strongly by Mr. Alex Ochan, who has been the head of financial inclusion at the Bank of Uganda for a while, but will be taking on a new tour of duty to move to another department. So at that juncture, I want to recognize Mr. Alex Ochan for his contribution. And Mr. Arnold Bagwaje will be coming in to take on the mantle of financial inclusion. Please allow me to recognize Mr. Arnold Bagwaje. And that team headed by Andrew, Honorable Minister, has put together a video which documents our financial inclusion journey since it was launched in 2013. And when you count, it's been 2 years now, meaning we are heading into a midterm review, and this video highlights the achievements that have been made thus far. So, Honorable Minister, with your permission, I'll request the DJ to play the video that documents the financial inclusion journey, and as a way of an interlude before we can proceed with the rest of the program. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Uganda has made significant progress in terms of financial inclusion, and according to the FinScope survey of 2023, 81% of Ugandans are accessing financial services in general. This is quite consistent with the more recent World Bank Findex report, which found that access to formal financial services in Uganda had grown to 73%, up from 68% in 2021. Now, this access to financial services has been significantly on account of mobile money. In fact, the Findex report found that mobile money has contributed up to, I think, 68%. 68% of Ugandans are accessing mobile money. And so it has been a key driver for access to financial services. And so the National Financial Inclusion Strategy will indeed continue to prioritize digital financial services as an avenue to leverage the extension of affordable quality financial services to the population. It was also quite interesting in the Findex to note that almost 71% of the Ugandans have been using digital payments in the past 2 years. Of course, there are certain areas to enhance around that, as I will highlight shortly, but the point is digital financial services have been a key enabler of financial inclusion. And you can tag these achievements alongside other different objectives of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy. Access barriers have been partly broken by the digital avenues, the digital channels. The quality of financial services has been enhanced. Formal financial services, for example, have been extended to the non-traditional collateral arrangements with the support of the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and this has extended access to the vulnerable populations. There is work around the circles, for example, which has extended financial services to the rural communities, village savings and loan associations, and institutions of the like. If you turn to the other objectives around consumer protection, for example, the recently launched Financial Ombudsman, the National Payment Systems Consumer Protection Regulations, the Digital Financial Literacy Initiative that the Central Bank and its partners are carrying out, as well as the Anti-Fraud Consortium, are among the so many measures that are being taken to extend consumer empowerment, especially to the vulnerable communities. But beyond that, we also have things that have been done around green finance. Minister of Finance is just launched the National Green Taxonomy. We have work done by Abbey Trust. We've got the ESG guidelines that the central bank worked on with the banking community, and so many other initiatives. But of course, the last objective is on gender inclusive finance, for which, again, a lot of initiatives have been implemented successfully to empower women. The GROW project is an example, and also the central bank's initiatives to empower women through the training of trainer programs. So overall, I can confidently say that we are on track because the 73% of Ugandans who access financial services is just 6% short of the global average, which the World Bank Findex put at 79%. So that is quite commendable. But that said, the Findex also had quite some interesting findings. It was found, for example, that informal financial services are on the rise. Informal lending, for example, far outstrips formal lending. Formal lending from the banking sector, for instance, was put at 11%, down from 19%, while informal lending had gone up from 57% to I think about 68 or 67%. Now, this means that there is a lot more either trust with the informal institutions than the formal institutions. And that is now work that we have to deal with. What is the issue? And the answer is something that I believe the National Financial Inclusion Strategy has already picked up. Because one of the objectives is to enhance the quality and improve the access of formal financial services, which is about financial deepening. So as we inch closer to the midterm review of the second National Financial Inclusion Strategy, I think our work has been cut out. We must address the quality of financial services. We must build trust, especially in the form of financial services. And this means dealing with issues around consumer protection. We must deal with issues around timely closure of complaints. We must also address certain other pains, such as the charges which deter especially the vulnerable communities. These are things that I think the NFIS is going to focus on, especially in the second half of the strategy. We need to deal with issues of quality of the financial services, and this is across the entire financial spectrum: capital markets, insurance, retirement benefits and pensions, and of course banking as the primary entry point. We must address the quality so that we claim trust, so that we build trust, and that will take us closer to our financial inclusion targets, which fortunately have been on the rise. Talking of gender inclusive finance, one of the things that we still need to address is the gender gap in terms of access to financial services. The Findex report noted that the gender gap has unfortunately widened from 2% in 2021 to about 14% in 2024. So this means that we must continue prioritizing the initiatives that aim to empower women and give them access to financial services. The same thing was identified for the rural-urban gap. This is from the FinScope survey, which noted that the rural-urban gap is at about 9%, although a significant reduction from 18% as per the FinScope report of 2018. So our work based on these findings, including the finding that informal financial institutions are very popular, especially for the women and youth. These findings mean that our work is kind of cut out. We must continue prioritizing access to formal financial institutions, which offer consumer protection mechanisms. They offer recourse mechanisms for the borrowers and savers. They help them to build a digital footprint that they can later on use to access even more and cheaper financial services. But without a digital footprint in the informal sector, then those are lost opportunities for our people. So consumer protection initiatives, the quality of financial services, rural, urban gap closure are some of the matters that we shall continue to prioritize, especially as we get closer to the midterm evaluation of the strategy. Monitoring and evaluation. We must continue dealing with the monitoring question, because like Peter Drucker put it, what gets measured gets managed. So if we don't have clear measurement criteria, then achieving our objectives will be a little difficult. And in this regard, the central bank has developed a financial inclusion index and an e-payments index to partly support the measurement of impact in terms of how our implementation is quantified. So we're testing those indices, and we hope that they will be able to guide us in terms of impact assessment. There are also several other initiatives that the central bank is taking to deal with those constraints that have already been identified in the past 2 years of implementing the strategy. For example, we are reviewing the innovation framework holistically. We are reviewing the sandbox, arrangement, with a view to being more proactive towards financial innovation. We're also reviewing the e-payment strategy, for which the end-term evaluation is in advanced stages, and we hope that with this second e-payment strategy, we shall continue to leverage the digital financial services to support the national financial inclusion agenda. Other pain points, including the absence of interoperability, which impacts pricing and the affordability of financial services, will also continue to be an area of priority, supported by comprehensive stakeholder consultations. The central bank is working on a digital public infrastructure, including the national switch, for which consultations continue. And we hope that these interventions will not only improve efficiency in the financial space, but they will also bring more people into the financial sector. We are also doing a holistic review of the national payment systems regulatory framework to identify the constraints and support more inclusive digital payments ecosystem as a whole. In a nutshell, I can confidently note that financial inclusion has significantly improved in Uganda. We are on an upward trajectory, but the constraints still remain. Key among those are issues around the quality of the financial services. We have constraints around consumer empowerment. We have challenges around digital financial literacy and digital fraud, which is a key deterrent, especially for the vulnerable communities. These aspects will continue to be areas of priority for the central bank and all its partners. In all these initiatives, stakeholder collaboration will continue to be a major pillar. And indeed, the Financial Inclusion Forum provides an excellent opportunity for us to renew our shared vision, for us to revisit our shared objectives towards the National Financial Inclusion Agenda. Together, we can build an inclusive financial future for all Ugandans. And our commitment as the central bank is to continue working towards universal access to quality, affordable financial services in Uganda in support of socio-economic transformation.
Thank you so much, the team that was behind that video to document the financial inclusion journey in Uganda. Honorable Minister, because of the structural reorganization at the Bank of Uganda, there is a dedicated team headed by the manager, who is none other than Rita Karungi Butime, who is also here with us. So, Honorable Minister, in the best interest of time, I now take this singular honor, pleasure, and privilege to invite you to deliver your speech, after which you'll award certificates and then have a group photo with the participants who are attending this engagement. I invite you, Honorable Minister, to deliver your speech.
The Deputy Governor of Bank of Uganda, representatives of ministries, departments and agencies, head of financial institutions present here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a good morning. You know, when you speak, when you're somebody who has more facts and eloquence, you suffer. The Deputy Governor is eloquent on these issues, but I will try as best as I can. It is with a proud sense of purpose that I welcome you to this Financial Inclusion Forum, which is an important structure of a national financial inclusion strategy 23-28. This gathering is not merely a meeting, it is a testament to our shared commitment to weaving financial inclusion into the very fabric of our nation's development. I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to the Bank of Uganda and the Secretariat for coordinating this meeting. The preparatory work from the working groups, the International Committee, and the Steering Committee, which I chair, has laid a formidable foundation for dialogue we embark on today. The theme before us, forum access to usage, advancing inclusive financial product uptake across Uganda, is a strategic and necessary evolution. During the NFIS2, we have commendably broadened the gateways to finance through mainly mobile money, agent banking, and digital platforms. We need to note that a bank account that lies dormant or credit that remains untapped does not fuel growth. True empowerment lies in the active, informed, and sustained usage of financial tools, saving products that build resilience, credit that fuels enterprise, development and growth, insurance that mitigate risk, and investment that secure their future. This is how we translate access into tangible improvements in financial health and household well-being. Significant strides have been made in advancing financial inclusion, and I would like to highlight some key initiatives. 1. Wealth creation. The parish development model and the Myoga initiatives continue to drive financial inclusion at the grassroots level. Through the PDM financial inclusion pillar, shillings 3.261 trillion has been disbursed to PDM circles, directly impacting over 3.26 million beneficiaries. Similarly, the Myoga program, through the Microfinance Support Center, has disbursed shillings 308.6 billion for 7,008 circles, benefiting more than 773,000 individuals. Additionally, through the Generating Growth Opportunities and Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs, which is GROW project, Uganda shillings 73.34 billion has been lent out to women-led enterprises. 2. We are also implementing the large-scale farmers financing scheme, the Small Business Recovery Fund, the Agricultural Credit Facility, gradually increasing capitalization of the Uganda Development Bank to ensure that these institutions are able to respond to the needs of Ugandans. 3. The Uganda Agricultural Insurance Scheme continues to register success with over Uganda shillings 40 billion disbursed, benefiting 800,623 farmers nationwide, and ensuring agricultural loans worth Uganda shillings 2.47 trillion. 4. The Capital Markets Authority continue to play a pivotal role in mobilizing alternative financing for both public and private sector investment. Let me repeat this. The Capital Market Authority continue to play a pivotal role in mobilizing alternative financing for both public and private sector investments, providing a critical source of budget financing. We recently launched the new Capital Markets Authority Strategic Plan 25 to 30, which provides a comprehensive roadmap to transform Uganda's capital markets into a more accessible, inclusive, and resilient platform for mobilizing long-term finance. 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad that the achievement of removing Uganda from the Financial Action Task Force grey list has been sustained to date. As a result, Ugandans can now conduct financial transactions without undergoing stringent due diligence. 6. In the banking space, we commenced the rebranding of Post Bank to Pearl Bank as a strategic evolution into one of Uganda's top performing banks, while Pride Bank obtained a Tier 2 banking license, a milestone that enables the bank to mobilize deposits, offer a wide range of credit products, and enhance its competitiveness in the outbreak, particularly to the unserved market segments. 7. To support the development of Uganda's mortgage sector, government enacted the Mortgage Refinancing Institution Act 2022-25, aimed at addressing the loan maturity mismatch in the financial sector, where banks relied on short-term deposits to finance long-term mortgage loans. The Act seeks to establish a framework for mobilizing stable, long-term capital for mortgage refinancing, thereby enabling primary lenders to extend more affordable and longer-term housing loans at lower interest rates, particularly benefiting low and middle-income households. 8. On the microfinance space, the Microfinance Support Center has opened up a new branch in Acholi sub-region, specifically in Gulu, as well as aligning its strategic plan to the NDP4. This is a good step towards promoting access to financial services across the country, in addition to integrating emerging imperatives such as climate finance, Islamic finance, environmental, social, and governance risks, and digital transformation. Regarding SACCO regulation, I note that Bank of Uganda has issued operational licenses to 3 large SACCOs, a critical step towards strengthening regulation and supervision within the sector. Going forward, the bank should ensure that all the SACCOs that fall within their regulatory ambit are effectively regulated and supervised. These initiatives demonstrate our commitment to fostering economic empowerment and financial access across communities. I would like to note that the financial sector is a vital enabler of our 10-fold economic growth strategy. However, we still grapple with challenges such as low savings rates and high credit costs. As set out within the 4th National Development Plan and Vision 2040, we are committed to doubling the level of national savings and increasing the level of formal financial sector inclusion to 100% in year 2040. This requires concerted effort to grow deposits within the banking ecosystem and promote long-term savings in the non-bank sector, including pensions and capital markets. I call upon you in this forum to come up with strong and candid proposals of how our financial sector can contribute to the achievements of a US dollars 500 billion economy by 2040. I will repeat this. This requires concerned efforts to grow deposits within the banking ecosystem and promote long-term savings in the non-bank sector, including pensions and capital markets. I call upon you in this forum to come up with strong and candid proposals of how our financial sector can contribute to the achievement of US dollars 500 billion economy by 2040. I am confident that through continued collaboration and commitment, we will achieve the goals of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy. Our collective efforts will play a critical role in the transforming Uganda's financial sector landscape and supporting the economic growth and prosperity of our nation. Now, it is now my distinguished honor and privilege to officially open the 2025 Financial Inclusion Forum. Thank you. May God bless all us.
A bigger round of applause for the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Honorable Minister, having read your speech, we now request that you officiate at a very important ceremony, which is the certificates awarding ceremony, during which we are going to recognize the chairpersons and co-chairpersons of the different working groups during the first National Financial Inclusion Strategy and the second National Financial Inclusion Strategy. And Honorable Minister, you will officiate together with the Deputy Governor, Professor Augustus Nwagaba. So on that note, I invite you to come forward, guided by Nakasi, so that we can have that ceremony performed, after which we'll have a group photo. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going to happen is the awarding of certificates, and these certificates are going to be awarded to the different chairpersons and co-chairpersons that played a role during the National Financial Inclusion Strategy 1 and the second National Financial Inclusion Strategy. And we'll be reading them in an alphabetical order, and you come forward and receive your certificate. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for accepting to perform that role. We'll start with Patricia Ahumuza. The certificates are going to be awarded in alphabetical order. Patricia Ahumuza is receiving her certificate. Next is Patricia Amito. I told you alphabetical order. While Ibrahim Karle Gava gets ready. Next is Ibrahim Karle Gava from Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, while Badru N. Mayanja gets ready. Badru N. Mayanja, the floor is yours to shake hands with the minister, and that means a lot. You could walk away with some money, you never know. So you better hurry. Michael T. Mbusa. Michael T. Mbusa, followed by Ziana Modu. Ziana Modu is going to be followed by Lazarus Mukasa. Lazarus Mukasa is going to be followed by Charlotte Natumanya. And Charlotte Natumanya, Honorable Minister, is our very own from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Followed by Innocent Kawoya. Innocent Kawoya is going to be followed by Kato Kefa. And Kato Kefa is going to be followed by Patrick Oketayot. And Patrick Oketayot works with the Bank of Uganda. After Patrick Oketayot will have Stella Kakwezi Olimi. Then we'll have Augustine Sechondwa. Augustine Sechondwa will be followed by Dr. George Wilson Sonko. Dr. George Wilson Sonko will be followed by Vincent Tumwijuche. Vincent Tumwijuche, get ready. You're going to receive your certificate. And finally, we'll have Barbara Nabaka Waluyemba. And Honorable Minister, now we are going to have, after awarding certificates, we're going to have a group photo. And the group photo will recognize the members of the steering committee to get ready. Members of the steering committee, please come forward. And on that note, I request the Deputy Governor to also move forward for the group photo. So the photo will feature the Honorable Minister, the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, the steering committee, namely UBRA, IRA, CMA, FIA, NIRA, OPM, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, UMRA, MRD, that is Microfinance Regulation Department, I'll also request Mr. Alex Ochan together with Mr. Arnold Baguwaje to come and join in for the photo. I also request the Director of Statistics at the Bank of Uganda, Mrs. Millie Nalukwagwesingoma, to come and join in for the photo. The inter-institutional committee should get ready. Millie Nalukwagwesingoma, the Director of Statistics, has also joined in. Very good at crunching figures. OPM and Means of Trade, if you are around, you can join in. Okay, I now invite, okay. now have members of the interinstitutional committee. Members of the interinstitutional committee. If you double in both, please stay there. If you double, Nelson, you need to stay there. Protasio, members of the interinstitutional committee. If you double in both, please stay there. And then let the others join in. Different ministries, industry associations. I also request we'll close with that photo of the members of the interinstitutional committee. The secretariat should be the very last actually. Please get close. Secretariat and the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. That is the very last photo. So that we don't keep the Honorable Minister standing for so long. After that photo we'll have the secretariat, that is Bank of Uganda. If you're nearby, please get close. And then together with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. That is the very last photo. After which
the team from Ministry of Finance, Sandra, the Commissioner, kindly stay. You are the head.
Bank of Uganda, please get close very fast together with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. This is your moment to take a photo with the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development together with the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda. Gloria, we can close in. The Secretariat, which is Bank of Uganda, maybe you can close in. This is for the Secretariat, which is Bank of Uganda, together with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Nakasi, thank you so much for organizing us to have a very good photo. Yeah, this is the Bank of Uganda and the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Hajara, you need to be in this photo as well. Hajara. Primon, you've forgotten that you work with the Bank of Uganda. Primon, come forward as well. Nicholas Okot, PA to DG, please come forward. DJ, as we honor our Minister Welly Ekizit, we request that you play the anthems in a reverse order and the Minister leaves.
No, let's move to the next.
Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tulilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu. yetu idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you so much. We'll now let the Honorable Minister exit and then proceed with the next of the program. And next on the program is a panel discussion on the topic, Designing Inclusive Financial Products for the Unserved and Underserved. The moderator and the panel should get ready, but we'll allow a moment. All right, so the moderator of this particular session is none other than Ms. Rashmi Pillai. Her works span from impact investment, access to finance, and digital payments. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Rashmi Pillai to come forward and take her seat as she gets ready to moderate this panel discussion. Over to you, Rashmi.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. And as I'll take guidance from the Deputy Governor, as he said, all protocols observed. Welcome to the panel on inclusive financial solutions. Before we start, I just wanted, the panelists and I wanted to lay some groundwork so we bring the audience with us on the topic that we're discussing. So in addition to solutions, we're also talking about financial health. So we'll just lay the groundwork by giving you some findings from FinScope. The FinScope is conducted every few years, funded by FSD Uganda, ABI Trust, but it is a BOU and Ministry of Finance product. Okay, so just so that the audience is with us, and if I can manage this. Yes, what do we mean by financial health? In the context of this panel, we will be discussing, you will hear the panelists talking about financial health in terms of 4 factors. So can an individual or small business manage everyday budgets, manage everyday financial needs? Are you able to meet your everyday financial needs? The second is resilience. Are you able to bounce back from a shock? The third is, are you able to plan for your future? And fourth, how confident do you
contractors and cooperative maaso kubanga abawandi bagenda maaso n'okubanga basomesa abantu omusomo gwo gwa
Most Ugandans are not managing their budgets very well. So 70%, 7 out of 10 Ugandans reporting operating on a personal budget deficit, meaning they need more money to manage everyday needs. The second one, I'm not going to go through every single slide. Most Ugandans are now more vulnerable than they were previously to economic shocks. And these can be shocks due to health, death in the family, any shock to your income, or theft. And when it comes to planning for the future, 7 out of every 10 Ugandans reported having no concrete long-term financial plans. So when you ask the question of, yes, we have achieved access, yes, we are on the way to achieving usage, the question is financial inclusion for what? Because the idea of financial inclusion is to do two things: build resilience and build a pathway to prosperity. And hopefully that is what the panel will discuss. So this is context. I'm just going to request the tech people to turn this off. We're going back to the panel now. And it's my distinct honor to welcome such an esteemed panel. We'll begin with Mr. Joseph Mugume, the Chief Executive Officer of Ibo Sacco. We're also congratulating Ibo Sacco on becoming a Tier 3 financial institution. You're welcome. He's been with Ibo Sacco for an extremely long time and has championed its leadership. He holds multiple degrees ranging from MBAs to entrepreneurship, financial and project management. It's an entire paragraph, but he's has many degrees, in short. The next is Ms. Helen Chirunji, Senior Manager Bank Tech at MTN Mobile Money. You're welcome. She spearheaded a lot of multiple innovations at MTN beyond just payments. So if you see credit products, insurance products on your MTN app, it's all because of Helen. Mr. Goloba Luanga, someone who I've worked very well with for a long time, senior economist at the Ministry of Finance. He has more than 14 years of experience as an economist and has spearheaded a lot of the execution of the parish development model. Mr. Julius Kakito, Pearl Bank. You're welcome, the CEO of Pearl Bank. He's also the current chairman of the Uganda Bankers Association. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. So we'll begin our first question we're beginning with Ibo Sacco. So Joseph, we've heard us talk about the paradox. We have very high financial inclusion, but not enough financial health. The resilience and prosperity that we're discussing is still a journey that we're on. So you as Ibo Sacco have close to directly, you're supporting 220,000 last mile customers, if I may say that. Question A, what is your view on the financial health versus financial inclusion paradox? What should we be doing more to build the financial health of customers such as the ones you serve and help them go up the economic ladder?
Thank you so much for that question. As you have heard, I'm Joseph Mugume from Ibo Sacco, and Ibo Sacco is actually a financial cooperative based in Western Uganda, and largely dealing with smallholder farmers who are excluded from the commercial banks, and majorly women, youth, refugees, and the rest. So the question, these clients as we serve, most of them, they have been excluded from commercial banks. But also, this very sector, they have also financial needs like any other person, like any other human being. So what we do at Ibo, what we have done is that how can we bring them on board into financial economy? And we do this through several ways. One of them is that we go and the extra mile, include them, and make sure that we make products which are tailored to their needs. And first thing that we do, of course, is look at the pain points and making them their customer-centric products which are tailored to their needs, especially. And this one, of course, talks much. If you are to deal with these clients, you need to look at the pain points. What type of products are they fit for their needs. Then once you know their customer journey, the pain points, you put them at the heart of everything. And then you'll be able to come up with proper products which are tailored to their needs and really talk to their needs, and you can really satisfy them very well. Thank you so much.
Joseph, you'll forgive me for pushing back a little bit on, so how do we for the audience, a bulk of your clients are smallholder farmers. They are in agriculture.
Yes.
What are the kinds of products that you would advise? Because we are talking about different kinds of financial institutions. When it comes to farmers, what kind of agriculture finance products or weather index products should we be thinking about? You talked about something very pertinent, which is pain points and user journey. So can you give us an example of how you have incorporated that in product design?
Yes, I have incorporated this into product design that really, before we do anything, we have to involve them, involve customers, know their needs. And then you come up with a product that speaks to their needs. Not just a prototype, which you just bring from the off-shelf and then we give out. So we involve them, know their expectations, know their pain points, so that these products can actually solve most of the issues that concern them. And this one, I have a very, very good relevant examples, because majorly in rural areas, there are no commercial banks. And the circles are majorly predominant in rural areas. Formerly, agriculture was actually taken as something that was not profitable. But we have been able to do this for the last 25 years. And most of the products are tailored about to agriculture, crop farming, and dairy farming. And we have served them very well, and really they have also improved their lives and also welfare, income, and food security at also the level.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Helen, we move to you. A lot of the progress that we have made is, when we talk about formal financial inclusion, is thanks to mobile money. A lot of mobile money operators, including yourself, now say that you want to be a platform business, meaning you want to have partnerships with others just the way that you're doing to become a channel of distribution of credit, insurance, savings, etc. So how is MTN thinking about its role in inclusive finance, especially financial sector depth? Because payments is just one of the instruments that people need, but it doesn't give financial sector depth. So how is MTN thinking about the role of inclusive finance that help people build resilience and prosperity?
Thank you, Rashmi. When I look at MTN and Momo as a platform, so it just goes beyond payments, because payments is just a foundation. When you think about financial inclusion and resilience, you're also thinking about impact, and that's what Momo is doing. One of the things and what we see ourselves as are the rails, when you look at access, being able to give access to credit, access to insurance, access to investment to even the last mile customer. Think about it where a customer has no smartphone, but they still are able to get credit via USSD. You're looking at a vast network of agents reaching the last mile customer. You're thinking about usage, like the CEO Ebo Sako mentioned that you sometimes create prototypes, but what does the customer need? Being able to create products that are actually usable by these customers and hence creating inclusion. When you think about the role that Momo is playing, is being able to create products that actually speak to the needs of these customers. Think about Momo Advance. When you think about our credit portfolio, we have a loan marketplace where we give advance through Momo Advance, more cash in partnership with NCBA, Momo Advance in partnership with Pearl Bank. I'm happy to have one of our stakeholders on the panel. So, and for us, that's the role that Momo is doing out there. And when it comes to resilience, and sometimes in life you think about the small things that actually matter. Being able to give someone credit, but they walk away with their dignity without having to mention your problems out there for everyone to know that you're actually in need of that small loan and you're able to manage your finances. But over and above, we also into the business of value creation. Are our products actually creating value to the community? When I think about, for example, our school fees loan, where we are able to keep students in school, and that's where the impact really comes in, where Momo plays. When we think of building resilience, we also have an insurance product covered by Momo, where you're able to insure your life through just your phone. All you need is a phone. When I think about the investor, one of our unit trust products, where you're able to save for that day when you really need that money and invest. So it's all these put together. In a nutshell, being able to keep customers and people continue to have their dignity through the products that we provide, but also creating an impact in the community. Yeah.
Thank you, Helen. 2 questions there. It would be helpful to hear a little bit more about both your own and the partnerships that you lead, credit, savings, microinsurance, etc., that you spoke about. What are the discussions around a couple of points? Accessibility, affordability. Do you also collect sex disaggregated data to know whether there's uptake of women versus men, etc.? There are some products that see a disproportionate uptake from men, which is fine, but we also we have a focus on all adults. And the last question I have is on agent management at the last mile. So questions around product design, pricing, and then agent management at the last mile.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. So when I think about the product design and being able to, and the customers that we serve, the data that we see on our side is that there's a 43% split in terms of access to credit, and the 47 skewed to male and the 43% to female. When you look at what we do, when someone makes a payment, that payment is just not a transaction, and that's how we see it at Momo. Every payment that you make, you create a digital financial footprint, not just for you as a customer that makes the payment, but also to the merchant or to the smallholder business that sticks as a digital financial imprint that gives digital financial identity to most of the underserved customers. And that's why we see us play in being able to reach the last mile. Because when you have this digital footprint, at the back end, what it means to us is we are able to track your financial history. We are able to accord you a loan, a credit, without having to ask for a land title or your car, with no collateral. But what we see a lot is that as Momo, we cannot do it on ourselves, and we're not trying to do everything by ourselves. It's intentional that we work with partners. Most of our partners are accredited institutions, licensed by Bank of Uganda, by Capital Markets Authority, by UMRA. So it's being able to connect loan credit to the customers. And when you think about the vast agent network that we have around the country, we are able to also continue to service that customer and to service many people out there, because when you think about the liquidity gap that we have and the liquidity cycles, you're able to reach that agent. When you think about, for example, our loans to the agents, we've partnered with DFCU, we've partnered with Lechero to be able to give loans to some of our agents to be able to service most of these customers. So that's how I see us play up to the last mile. Yeah.
Thank you. I see that you avoided the pricing question, but no, I'm joking. But do you want to respond? But it's fine if you.
No, it's fine. So in terms of pricing, like I said, we are regulated by the Bank of Uganda. There is no product that we take to the market that has not been approved from the pricing. And when you look at access to credit, if you think about the time that customers had to make queues in the banks just to pay school fees, for example, time is money. But we afford that to the customer through the phone at a very small price. So you will find that most of the loan products pricing doesn't go even above 15% per annum. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Helen. Julius, we're moving on to you. So you've transformed Post Bank into Pearl Bank. Fostering prosperity is your slogan. And you support a lot of government programs, naturally, including the credit facility, PDM, etc. So can you talk about designing products? How are you as a bank thinking of designing products, especially for women, small businesses, and farmers? And these are typically groups that don't have immovable assets. So how are you designing products for them?
Thank you, Rashmi. As you've correctly stated, we have to live its purpose, fostering prosperity for Ugandans. You cannot achieve that purpose if you don't dive into what you'd call micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and agriculture space, because that's what the majority of Ugandans do. That is the largest source of employment for Ugandans. So the only way you can support Ugandans is to be in that space. Today, our loan book is 28% youth and women. It is something we track, but you have to be very deliberate if you want to succeed in this space. You don't start off with the products, the solutions that you think will work. You have to go on the ground and actually identify the businesses in those communities and understand their cash flow patterns, and then you come back and you design solutions that will actually help them succeed and not fail. There are some observations around this space which certain things wouldn't work. First and foremost, there must be access. Good enough, today we have so many options in terms of access, including the telcos. We have Wendy, and plus the branches, which is the traditional way of enabling access. But branches today are very limiting. It's a very expensive way to reach out to customers, the brick and mortar style of access. So you must embrace technology. Onboarding process must be very simplified. It must be very simple for you to open an account, to come into the bank, or to get onto Wendy. All you need is a national ID. You don't need all those papers to fill in. And on the side of the bank, we have a Zero Flex account, which is purely digital, mainly for the youth. It has no charges for the youth to onboard, and because they would prefer to transact digitally. So that is an option for them as well. When it comes to lending, most of the facilities in this space are cash flow based. And you, as a bank, you must be very flexible to extend credit without the traditional of lending where you have monthly installments and so on. For example, if it is agriculture, you must be ready to extend credit, and repayments are based on the harvest cycles around agriculture. Then security is always a problem for this group. So you must be able to take some form of risk. What you do, or what we have done as Pearl Bank, we seek partnerships. We have a partnership with government of Uganda, with Bank of Uganda, the Agriculture Credit Facility, where they take away 50% of the risk and provide 50% of the liquidity. We've just recently announced a partnership with the French Development Agency, AFD, again, lending in that space, youth, women, and agriculture. These partnerships actually help to de-risk and give us the confidence to enter that space. We also leverage a lot on an ecosystem. Usually you'll find an established customer. It could be a factory, a manufacturer, it could be a distributor, but has this ecosystem of suppliers in the agriculture space. And that provides a lot of de-risking, because once you tailor something, a solution around this main customer who is established, then it's very easy to extend credit, because all these farmers and traders have an outlet where they will send their final produce. And of course, I've talked about flexibility and repayments. That's also very, very important. So those are some of the solutions we have. There's no one size fits all. You must be ready as an institution to be flexible, go on the ground, and also do a lot of financial literacy.
Thank you, Julius. Now, I'm really glad you mentioned risk. So you have a lot of agricultural dependent customers or clients, if I may say that. Agri-allied services or directly smallholder farmers. How are you as a bank, and maybe by extension because you're the chairperson of UBA, thinking about climate risks and climate vulnerability of the smallholder farmers that you're serving?
Yeah, there is a lot of, there's a lot of risk. Before I narrow down to climate risk, there is a lot of risk around lack of credit history, high levels of unemployment for the youth, lack of formal security. In Uganda, we have a very poor address system. Many of us would struggle in one sentence to direct someone where we live or where to find us. You need a full paragraph. And of course, there is lack of trust with the financial institutions, especially if someone is very new, a new borrower to the system. And of course, now the other one you brought in, which is climate risk. Seasons are changing, weather patterns are changing. A lot of agriculture, especially the smallholder farmers, they are still relying on the traditional forms of agriculture. No irrigation, you know the rain cycles, you pray for the rains, you don't really use a lot of fertilizers, and so on and so forth. So your yield could be impacted. And what the industry is doing today, it has moved on to a journey of sustainability. That journey started with help with partners like Abi Finance. They sponsored an ESG framework to help the individual banks actually move on to a sustainability journey. Some of the banks have moved ahead. I'll gladly say Pearl Bank has already achieved sustainability. And the whole idea is you have to integrate a lot of the risk mitigants into the way you do business. It is not a project on the side that I'll help plant 10 trees. I'll help finance one customer and I make headlines. That is really greenwashing. It is not real sustainability. True sustainability, you have to integrate a lot of these risk mitigants in your strategy. And that's what we've done as Pearl Bank. We are big on financing farmers who have adopted green financing, green methods of farming. We are shying away from manufacturers who are moving in the opposite direction in terms of, should I say, degreening the earth or the system. So we believe, what we truly believe in is all institutions need to integrate sustainability in their operating models, so that it's part of their strategy. It's not something on the side. It is what you do. You support even agriculture in terms of helping farmers navigate this challenge.
Thank you, Julius. Globa, we're moving to you now. You have the honor of working actually at the subsistence economy level. You've helped, via the PDM, help multiple households come out of poverty. What has worked for PDM and what has not worked? Because hindsight is always 20/20. So what has worked, what has not worked?
Okay, thank you, Rashmi. Happy to see you again. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So PDM was launched by His Excellency the President in 2022, February, and we have been implementing it in a phased manner. The first 2 years, we had what we call establishment, which I think at the beginning there was a lot of information around that, trying to create an infrastructure, trying to create a financial infrastructure at each and every parish in this country. As we speak, we have at least an agent now, a financial agent, in the form of a PDM circle at each of the 10,594 parishes in the country. I think that is something that is a significant achievement that we've been able to register. But away from that phase, we had a phase. That phase ran for around 2 years. The first 2 years, we had basically establishing the whole ecosystem, the people who support this whole program at the parish level, at the different levels of government, data, collecting data, baseline data, and that ran for around 2 years. Then we moved to another phase we called sustainability, where we changed, the focus now changed. Focus changed to things such as the systems, what systems are we using? Things changed to issues such as governance, how do we run the infrastructure that we've created at each and every parish, mindset, the business mindset, what these people that are getting the money, what exactly are they doing the money, what are they using the money for? And that's where the focus was in this next 2 years. Then now, we've just started a phase we call acceleration and sustainability phase. So that's at the moment, that is where the PDM is. And if you say what has worked, I think one thing that I want to say here is, and we are very excited about that one, is we have been able to achieve full digitization under the PDM. So I'll explain what full digitization, what I mean by full digitization. So I mentioned that we have been able to establish PDM circles at each and every parish in this country. The circles established at 10,000, okay, the actual figure is 10,589. So for all of those circles, they are transacting business on digital platforms, all of them. Right now, under the PDM, we have a system called the PDMIS, the Parish Development Management Information System, and that is the system we use to profile our beneficiaries and also ensure eligible beneficiaries are getting the money. We have another system, the Wendy, powered by Pearl Bank, which is helping us ensure that we securely have this money moved from the circles to the beneficiaries' mobile phones. Then we also have another system called Zaidi. Zaidi is a system we're using to track funds at the beneficiary level. So who got what, how are they using it, and that type of thing. So we've been able to roll out these systems and cover all of the parishes in this country. I think that's a significant achievement that this country has registered that is working well. Government has also provided hardware to support these systems. So in the beginning of this year, government provided around 23,000 gadgets across the country Those gadgets were going to implementers of PDM at the district level, but also to the parish level. So at the parish, a gadget was provided to the circle, and by a gadget I mean a tablet, to the PDM circle and to the parish chief. So for all the parishes in this country, we have at least 2 gadgets that are being used to run these systems. Now for the hard to reach parishes, we actually have more than 2. We have at least 3. Last month, UCC provided an additional gadgets, solar panels, and data as well, particularly targeting the hard to reach. I mean, hard to reach, I'm talking about parishes in islands, places like Karamoja, and that type of thing. So that's what I mean by full digitization. So that, I think, for us is something we're very proud of. The other thing that has worked well is we've been able to achieve scale. So at the beginning, of course, for the client that we're targeting, and this client we're targeting, I want you to imagine someone who is not being served by my brother from Ebo, because he will ask you for membership fees, for savings before you start enjoying the service. So I want you to envisage that type of client is not being served by Ebo, is not being served by MDIs, is not being, he or she is not being served by commercial banks, not being served by development banks, is not being served by equity investors, say. Now, in Uganda, that's what we keep calling the subsistence household. So that's my client. And in Uganda, if you go by the national population, the census that they've done in 2024, we're talking about 14.7 million people. So those are the guys we're going out of our way to serve. That person is probably landless, it doesn't have much income, and is very vulnerable to shocks. So that's the type of client that we go out of our way to try and serve and bring on board. So there are certain things we've of course had to design within the whole program to try and reach that person and ensure that that person is attracted to join the PDM circle. Now, we have a significant amount of people that have been able to join the PDM circles, and the government has provided seed capital to these circles, these PDM circles. So I think, as you heard from my Honorable Minister's remarks, government has transferred 3.261 trillion shillings to those circles, directly to the accounts of those circles. From Treasury, directly to the account of those circles. And those circles have then lent that money to the client I've been describing to you. So far they've lent around 3.219 trillion to around 3.262 million beneficiaries. So that's out of the 14 million I talked about earlier. And they're lending this money to them at 6% per annum. So that's the price. So for us, the scale that we've been able to achieve in this period is something that we are very glad about. And government is providing that seed capital still at this moment, and 1 million new beneficiaries of the category I explained to you earlier under the PDM. So that's also something we are excited about. And another thing that has worked well for us is something that my brother, Mr. Kaketo, powers, Wendy mobile wallet. So at the beginning of PDM, we were going with the bank account. So, you know, under financial inclusion, we always talk about the account and how many people are using the account and accessing. So we had challenges, significant challenges. In this country, there are places where that outreach is very limited for banking services. And I think I'll give you an example. In Uganda, there are sub-regions. There's maybe 3 sub-regions in the east. There's around 20 districts forming those sub-regions of Sebei, Bukedi, and Bugisu. All those sub-regions converge on Mbale to access banking services.
Good morning, everyone.
Only in Mbale, for some reason. All of them converge on Mbale to access banking services. So when we started the PDM and we said, please open up bank accounts and you'll be able to receive your money on your bank account, you can imagine what happened in Mbale. I have pictures, but of course now I cannot show you. But chaos happened in Mbale.
Promoting the use of economic
People would be mobilized to go and open a bank account and then later come back at another date to access the money when it hits the bank account.
Good morning, everyone.
Serious pain, by the way, for the client that we're trying to serve. But when we had engagements with the government banks, led by Pearl Bank, we were able to come up with this Wendy mobile wallet, which has significantly helped us solve some of these problems that we were facing in the beginning. So, in the beginning, we were looking at the bank account. Right now, this phone for our PDM beneficiaries became a bank. It's not even just an account. The bank moved to the phone. So, under the PDM, and we're very happy about that, we've been able to move that bank to the people within their communities. That's where they're transacting. And now this brings me maybe to the last point on what has worked for us, which my colleague from Momo was talking about, the footprint. And people are very excited about the money, but there's something they all miss. With all of this, everything that we've put in place, everything that is happening with this money, there is something that is happening that people don't realize. These people have been talking about, the client have been talking about, who was in the subsistence economy, was virtually blind to the formal economy. When they get on board and they're using the systems we put in place, all of a sudden we have a digital identity for this person. With the bank accounts, many of these people would get the money. Once they get the money, the account goes dormant. But what we're seeing with the wallets that they're using, when they get the money, they're using them for just more than just receiving the PDM money. They're transacting actually on those wallets. They're creating a digital identity for themselves on these systems. And as she said, at a certain point, you will not need these traditional collateral systems and a lot of the other hassle for them to benefit from even more complicated financial services. And for us, that is something that has worked, that we see is growing. It's something that we look forward to, and we want to encourage all of you to try and support this as well. So at least for what has worked, that has worked for us.
Good morning.
What has not worked so well?
My name is Margaret
And I think Governor
from Springtech Limited.
Was talking about, I think what he was talking about, part of it is your financial literacy.
Morning, everyone.
We still have
my name is
a bit of gaps there, and
from
the Ugandan population, a lot of people borrow
Container
money
Village branch.
with the intention not to pay back.
Good morning.
We're all Ugandans. You know what is in our communities, and you all come from a parish somewhere, and you all have family, and you also borrow. Incidentally, we have people who have borrowed from UDB, and there is a problem paying back. So you can imagine that level of sophistication, but there is that behavior. So we have that under PDM as well. We've seen diversion, and of course that is now the financial literacy that we need. But we also have another thing that has not worked well is now the digital literacy. So as I've mentioned, we have all these systems. We have the hardware.
Good morning,
yes,
everyone.
The literacy, the digital literacy. Governor talked about Somalia running everything on the phone. I'm very curious how they achieved it, even for the beggar. We need to learn from them because in our experience under the PDM, because of the changes that we introduced in a very fast manner, we've had instances where our beneficiaries have had to depend on other people to support them to run the systems, support them to use the gadgets. And in some instances, we've had cases of, some few cases of identity theft. But those are things we are dealing with because they have emerged because of the digital literacy gap that we have.
Good morning,
Some are
everybody.
giving away their PIN codes, their PIN code. You can imagine.
Chairperson,
And I
Kasui
told you,
Community
now our bank is here.
Development Circle.
So you can imagine what is
from
happening.
that part of Rubaga.
We also have...
Sorry, Golova, we are being told that we are running.
Okay, fantastic. But that is what has worked well and not worked well for us. Thank you.
I work as treasurer.
Can someone tell us how much time we have left?
Circle, Rubaga Division.
Okay. I'm receiving notes, so somebody is keeping track. Okay. We don't seem to have enough time, so I'm going to just ask for concluding remarks. And Julius, we'll begin with you. 3 things that you think are necessary, that we as the entire financial sector, donors, private sector, public sector combined, should in the next couple of years look at when we talk about financial health for people and businesses. What are the 3 or 5 things that you think are important?
In my view,
good morning, everyone.
Financial
I'm
access is one thing and health
I
is a
work
journey.
with Kasui
That
Community
takes some time.
Development
It is
Circle.
not like
Thank you.
Mr. Golob has been talking about PDM and its impact. It will take a while for that to bed in and for people to grow in terms of financial awareness, appreciation, business, and so on. So there are 3 things I can think of. One is collaboration. It's not always about competition.
Good morning,
This is
everyone.
happening a lot today.
My name is Angela.
You're seeing a lot of organizations coming to work together to solve
and I
a
come
problem.
from Centenary
The key
Bank,
actors must be willing to collaborate towards a common goal, especially for the benefit of the population. Secondly, is technology. Financial access and financial health is only going to be achieved through technology. With technology, you can reach anyone, you can reach everywhere. We need to focus a lot on around technology and data, leverage data to make so many meaningful decisions around financial access.
Good morning, everyone.
3,
I'm Victoria Natsua.
we need to start thinking of non-traditional forms of financing. Now, this is for the banks.
Good morning, everyone.
If we are to achieve...
My name is Edith Flower Namleme.